Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. In this lesson, we will talk about passive verbs. So, first, let's just recall the distinction between active and passive. Active is a situation where we have the subject. So, for example, if we say Akala Hamidun at-ta'ama, so this means that Hamid ate the food. We have the subject or the doer in this sentence. So Hamid is the subject or the doer. Even if he said Akala at-ta'ama, he ate the food, there also we would have the subject, but the subject would be embedded. In both these cases, we can say that the verb is active because there is a subject either explicit or implicit. Passive tense is where the subject is removed altogether. In English, we would say the food was eaten. So there is absolutely no mention of the subject. In Arabic, we would say ukila at-ta'amu. The food was eaten. So this is passive tense. Notice that this takes the form fu'ila. So the first letter, which is the fa letter, takes a dhamma or a pesh. The second letter, which is the ain letter, takes a kasra or zair. And the third letter, which is the lam letter, will take a fatha or a zabar. So this is the form of the passive tense, fu'ila. So ukila. If the active word or the active verb is daraba, the passive is going to be duriba. And we'll see examples of this. Now, in this sentence where the verb is passive, the object is called the naib ul fa'il. Normally, in an active verb sentence, the subject is in rafa form and the object is in nasab form. When we have a passive tense verb, then there is no subject, and instead of the subject, we put the object in rafa form, and that's why the object of a passive tense verb is called naib ul fa'il. The naib ul fa'il, as I said, is always in rafa form, and the conjugation is based on this. So here we have the conjugation, and as I said, the conjugation is now based on the object, because with passive tense, the subject is essentially removed from the equation. Now let's look at how this conjugation is used. Take the verb nasara. Nasara means he helped. So how will we say he was helped? He was helped would be nusira, and that takes the form fu'ila. So with nasara, when we put it in the form fu'ila, we have a pesh or a dhamma on the first letter, a kasra on the second letter, and a fatha on the third letter. So if I want to say he was helped, I would say nusira. If I want to say two men were helped, I would say nusira. If I want to say multiple men were helped, I would say nusiru. So notice this conjugation can then be applied to any verb. Another point that I want to make here is that when we are talking about the active tense verb, the third person masculine can take three forms. Sometimes you will have fa, la, and an example of that would be nasara or daraba. Sometimes we can have verbs in the form fa, la. So an example would be sami'a. Another example would be hasiba. So the point is that there are some verbs where the middle letter takes a zair or a kasra, and we haven't seen much of this yet, but we can also have a situation where the middle letter takes a pesh or a dhamma. So we can also have fa'ula, and an example of that would be karuba. But when we have the passive tense will always have this form fu'ila. So the passive tense of nasara would be nusira. The passive tense of samia would be sumia. The passive tense of karuma would be kurima. So the point is, no matter what form the active tense verb has, the passive will always have the form fu'ila. The first letter has the dhamma, second letter has a kasra, and third letter has a fatha. And then this conjugation is something you need to learn. Now let's look at this vocabulary, and I want you to pause here and learn this. Moving on to some translations. Sharibna is regular active tense because we don't have the pesh or the dhamma on the first letter. So this means that we drank. Tulibna is passive. We know that because of the pesh or the dhamma. And this noon over here tells us that we are third person feminine plural. So this means that the ladies, plural third person, were called. Khulika is passive tense. So khulika means they too were created. Khalaqta is active. So you male were created. Ukila tamru. So this is passive. The date was eaten. Akalna al-huta. Al-hut is the fish. So we ate the fish. Wal aruzza. So and the rice al-yom today. Buitha means was sent, and this is passive form, so there is no subject. Who was sent? Waladuhu. So his boy was sent to Lahore. Now some examples from the Quran. Ya ayyuhan nas, O humanity, duriba mathalun. So an example is presented to you. Who is presenting the example? That's not given because this is passive tense. Kutiba alaykumul qitalu. So kutiba means prescribed onto you or mandated onto you. So alaykum onto you. Al qitalu is war or fighting. Wa nufikha fissuri. Nufikha is blown. Again, this is passive. Fissuri is basically the trumpet or in the trumpet. Wa and ilas samai kaifa rufiyat. And towards the heavens, kaifa rufiyat. How they have been raised. This is passive. Wa ilal jibali. And towards the mountains, kaifa nusibat. They've been pegged. Again, this is passive. Wa ilal ardi kaifa sutihat. How they have been spread out. This again is passive. That is it for this lesson.